Hi, this is Cynthia Ortiz. It is the 16th of February, 2022. These are the Charles Perry Stalker podcasts. Use allegedly, apply the but for and the reasonable person standard. We assert all constitutional rights, but mostly the First Amendment, New York Times versus Sullivan, Garrison versus Louisiana, the reasonable person. What would any reasonable person do in my situation who's being stalked? Talk about it. TikTok girl, she showed proof to everybody. And the Fourth Amendment now we have to do too, apparently. So when on Friday I did a podcast in which I said I just talked to the prosecutor. It was like Thursday or Friday. The prosecutor tells me, Sin, bad news. I've been listening to these guys talk all day long. They're sitting around talking about how to prevent you from your appeal. They do not want that to go through. So we've got that here. I've sat here. He was listening to a live feed, but when the live feeds come in, they're recorded and they're typed. It goes through a computer that types up the transcript as well. 33,000. Mr. Perry is missing something here. He continues to ask me who told on him. Doesn't understand what it means. So let me repeat that because we got slow people. He wants to know how I find out what he's trying to do, what he's planning to do. McNamara email was the first. And then there's been the harassment email. There's been the Michael's drugged email. I'm going to have her car towed and sold before she figures out it's not legal email. Ringtone email. Get her shoe print email. I guess what happened is Richard, I guess, or somebody went out to, they found some chick committed a crime who looks similar to me. And they got witnesses who saw her do whatever she did and talked to them. And they all said the same thing. It's not the same person. Cynthia is too thin and lighter skin. And her hair is also blonder. It's this other girl that we saw was heavier, quite a bit heavier, one guy said, has darker complexion, and her hair is more brownish blonde than Cynthia's. So, like I said, Mr. Perry's cloned my phone. I've said that forever. He's paid a bill that he saw from hacking. I did not ask him. He showed up at a restaurant. When I left my phone at home, he should have thought I was at home. I guess if he's hacked my phone, he shows up at a restaurant. Cheryl Underwood testified to it, looking for me. Because I guess if I had my phone with me, he would know where I was. If I left my phone at home, he didn't know where I was. So he went to the place where I would normally have been. I wasn't there. Just thing after thing after thing, you know. So we have, now I lost my train of thought. Like over the last few days, because I would have to pay for copies and getting the appeal to the Oklahoma Supreme Court, and then copies for them and serve them, that I would have to, that would cost me money. He's sitting there watching me on my phone. So he was jamming up my, I do food delivery right now because I quit dancing. So everybody that does that, if you really want to make money at it, there is actually some pretty good money in it. But you would have, most people sign up for Uber Eats, Grubhub, DoorDash, Lyft. They sign up for all of them. And if it's slow with one, you go to the other one. And you just, you decline orders that aren't worth your time. And all of a sudden, I started having problems with that. It's not a problem. I mean, when you look up the company policy, there is no problem. He made one. And anyway, so I've been doing that. Well, he's jamming up my apps. I can't make money. Just over the last few days, it's bad. Because he doesn't want me to make copies and serve and so forth and get the documents on time to the court. So Friday, my guy, anyways, I guess they went out with this chick, and like I said, I'm GPS, so I go to a Quick Trip, I'm getting gas. Well, here comes this woman. Now, keep in mind, I'm 52 years old. I'm 52. So I've been around a little bit. I've had a lot of interactions with people. Mr. Perry acts like I'm just some stupid dude, and never been. He forgets that long before I met him, I had a whole different life. I lived in Las Vegas, Nevada. I owned a business. I was good at it, what I did. I also lobbied. Okay, so when we lobbied, we ended up doing administrative requests for changes in Medicare coverage of lymphedema and vascular disease. In that presentation, there's like two people. They do the presentation to CMS or the Medicare review panel to decide whether or not they'll change guidelines or add products to what they're going to cover. You have to do a presentation before a bunch of doctors, and then they review everything, and then there's a panel review position paper that they'll do. The position paper basically said, it mentions me twice in my recommendations, and said that what I had to say was logical, but there was a lack of clinical data, so that then becomes the responsibility of the manufacturers to get clinical studies done on their own equipment. You have to find a hospital, and you do like a double-blinded, and it's kind of intensive. It's not, easy to do a clinical study. But at that point, there's nothing else I could do. But of all the people at that panel, I'm the one, there's me and one other person mentioned by name and what the input was that we gave to the panel. So I had a significant impact in that panel. I'm not just some stupid nobody. So, like I said, I did federal lobbying. I met with every senator and every congressman that would meet with me personally, not just staff, them. I met with Harry Reid. I met with, I liked Senator Reid, by the way. A lot of people are not aware that he was a Mormon, pro-life, pro-gun rights. And he would tell you, I differ from my party in that way. What you saw on the news was not the Harry Reid we knew in Nevada. Not the same guy. So, Nevada was, up until recently, for 20 years, had a Republican governor. It was a red state. So, when taxes and shit happened in California, a lot of people moved in from California, and that did change the voter demographic. So they only recently got a Democrat governor. Otherwise, the state was conservative. So people thinking that Harry Reid is this off-the-wall liberal have it wrong. That's not the Harry Reid we knew. Doesn't mean he's perfect. He wasn't perfect. But he was more conservative than people think. So I met with John Ensign, and I went over that earlier today. I knew a lot of very powerful people, and I still do. Mr. Perry, you need to figure out, what does it mean that you keep getting told on? What does that mean, sir? See, it seems like it doesn't click for you. Listen, I get that you want to be governor, is what I'm told. I'm all for it. I don't care. I really don't. I don't live in Texas. You don't legislate in Oklahoma. People in Oklahoma are not wringing their hands over what some guy, one legislator in Hawaii or Ohio or New Jersey is doing. Don't give a shit. Nobody Googles it. Nobody researches it. Nobody cares. Nor do they care about you. You want to run for governor, do it. The thing is, your mental status is not right. If you don't understand that when I'm quoting you guys verbatim and I find out what you're trying to do to harm me, you're not understanding why that is happening. Nobody gives a shit who's telling. I'm not even told that. That information is very protected. Very, very, very protected. I'm not told that, and I don't care. You know what I care about is that you're trying to hurt me all the time. It's costing me a shit ton of money. The people in my life are sick and tired of watching me suffer. Everyone is tired of you. We all get you have been in pretend land for a very long time. You have imagined a romance that's not there. 12 years, there's not been one date. I can't stand you. I don't want you anywhere near me. If you tried to come near me, I would beat the fuck out of you. I don't want you near me. And you guys wake up every day thinking I'll change my mind. Maybe we got her broke enough now that she'll do what we say. You're trying intentionally to break me financially, to coerce a lie, and to force me against my will to do something I don't want to do. And you keep getting caught. And you're not putting it together in your head. Why is that happening? It's not the who. It's the why. What does that mean, Mr. Perry, that you keep getting caught? Might that mean there are indeed 40 police officers investigating you for some very serious crimes, including what you're doing to me? What does that mean? Why do you not get that? I want nothing to do with you. I moved twice to get away from you and started my life all over again. I had a business in lobbying. I did political campaigns, and I walked away from that, boom, just like that, into a strip club to get away from you. I completely changed my life to get away from you. And at that point, only a couple of people knew you had a problem. All you had to do was leave me alone, and then you wouldn't need to cover up now. You guys go at me, and I find out everything you're trying to do, and you act like nothing's happened. You act like this is just coming out of thin air. I mean, we're just like, well, they're so not putting it together what this means that I keep quoting what they just said. She was supposed to be in jail and not able to appeal. I heard that recording. When it comes in on a live feed, Mr. Perry, it doesn't just go live feed and then when nobody, it's recorded as it comes in. And it's typed up, the computer types it up on a transcript, sir. You need to get a grip on reality. Why are you getting caught? Because you're doing something wrong. There is something to catch. And I have help. The Fabian puzzle. How the hell did I get that in jail? It's very specific to me, and it came to me at a very specific time. And it means a lot to me. That made my heart happy to get that. Especially at that moment. Because you had ruined and ravaged and wrecked my life on purpose. You did it intentionally. So my prosecutor, these guys, I apparently went out to my club where I used to work and asked if I was there. They knew I wasn't there. This woman, strange woman, comes up to me at a Quick Trip. I don't know her. Never seen her before in my life. Starts asking me very specifically, what brand of color do you use in your hair and what color is it? And I'm thinking, the fuck? Wow. I've had lots of people come and tell me, I like your hair. Who does your hair? Where do you get your hair done? Never do they get that specific. Well, come to find out, they needed the girl who actually committed the crime to dye her hair my hair color. They were pushing me to tan. I got injured and I was hit by a firework. I had a 3rd-degree burn several years ago and haven't tanned since. Plus, I'm always broke because Perry, causes me financial loss, so I don't have the money to tan. And he doesn't put that together. If we're gonna push her to tan, maybe we ought to make sure she can pay for it. I think there was another guy that kept saying, we need to get her on cable. We need to get her on cable. Well, but she can't afford it because you're taking all her money, genius. Okay, so duly noted that you guys are a mess. Intellectually a mess. So they go out there and they telling the guys that I work with, and I think the owner maybe. I was just told what happened. I didn't actually hear that recording. And the guy goes, we need her shoe print. Tell us when she comes back. And they were like, no, I think you need to get that from her house. No, when she's in the VIP, we got to get that shoe print from her. And the guy goes, that's not abandoned property. That's private property back in the dressing room at a private business. We have a business to run here. You do not need to come in here and get her shoe print while she's in the VIP. No, there's nothing wrong with it. Yeah, I think there might be. If you don't have a warrant or a court order for her shoe print, you're not going to come traipsing back to the dressing room where everybody has their property not abandoned and get her shoe print. And then the other night you were talking again to somebody that you had no business talking to. You violated my rights to privacy. You were trying to badmouth me. She's not being cooperative. We need her shoe print. And the guy said, if he had to push her to tan and get the other girl to change her hair color, then you've excluded her as the person who committed that crime. And you don't need her shoe print, and she knows that. I'm looking at her homework. She knows that. So it's not that she's being uncooperative. It's that you have fucked her over bad, and she doesn't trust you now. So leave her alone. Leave her the hell alone. Don't expect her to trust you now. Plus, on the date of the crime, that girl's hair still was brown. More brown than mine. And she was still darker than me on that day. So even if now I go tan, that doesn't change the skin color I had on the day of the crime, Mr. Perry. What does it mean that you're told on? You're not getting what that means. So my prosecutor calls me Friday and tells me they're going to impede. I mean, they thought they were all complaining. She's supposed to be in jail and not able to do this appeal. And This afternoon, he calls me and he says, it's not going to happen. They fucked you over again with the mail. But he knew that because normally you wouldn't put an exhibit in with the appeal. The amended petition of appeal, I included the receipt to Tulsa court. He wanted this. If nothing else got docketed, get this. They're going to take your money, say you can't do it. I didn't eat for 2 days so that I could do it, Mr. Perry. I didn't eat for 2 days. Hardly anything. I'm starving to death to get rid of you. To be rid of you. So, what does this say? What does this receipt say? 2/11. It was mailed out on 2/11. And it does say right here, expected delivery date is the 12th. 12, 13, 14. That's 3 days. Then that it has to get to the court in in the same town where it normally takes 1 day. I tell the post person that took this and sent it out for me. I said, she goes, it's going to get there on the 12th, the 14th on the latest, at the latest. It's Tulsa. It takes 1 day. I said, are you sure? Yep, I'm sure. That it'll probably get there in the morning. They have a guy that comes and signs for everything. So it'll probably be there first thing Saturday, at the latest Monday. The 14th was the deadline, and you knew that. And you fucked with the mail. Again. And my guy knows that. I did make the appeal deadline. I drove it to Oklahoma City, walked it in the room, into the court clerk office, and got it done. And it was, again, I starved myself for 2 days. I didn't eat. Because you're taking all my money. You jammed up my apps. I couldn't make any money. You're causing problems. My guy says, the bad news is, he did what we said. The good news is, now I have a new charge. The guy's got to get the fuck out of your life. He's not understanding why you're getting the information. What does it mean that you keep getting caught, Mr. Perry? More than ever in your life. You have never been caught this much, sir. I included this because we knew you fuck with the mail all the time. I actually included this as an exhibit in the petition. Because normally you wouldn't do that, would you? You wouldn't normally show the Supreme Court. I did send this out in plenty of time for it to make the docket by the deadline. 12th. I'm sorry, 11th. I mailed it on the 11th. It's dated February 11th. The DOR and the amended petition was due on the 14th. How many days is that? That's 3 days if you take Sunday out. You fucked with the mail. And so we knew you would. That's why we put that included. So that the Supreme Court could see that every effort was made to make that done in time. And we knew you were going to mess with the mail. How do you know this wasn't bait? So my prosecutor's like, amongst all these guys, 5 attorneys that are seasoned, 5 defendants, Josh Burson has Ken Paxton's entire office, and you got local people helping them. Amongst all those guys, not one of them has a backbone to face you in court, just normal. And he used different words. Words that if I said it, I'd get arrested for lewd and lascivious. But he made a point. These cowards do not have the backbone to just let things go as they go and give you the opportunity for just one normal fucking proceeding in a court of law. Not one. He goes, you know what that tells me? He goes, I'm extremely proud of you. That means you're doing an excellent job. You are doing fantastic. You haven't been to law school, and you've got 5 seasoned attorneys have to tamper with the fucking mail so they can avoid having a hearing in a court of law with you, against you. What does that say about them, and what does that say about you? Not one backbone amongst all those guys, all those men. And you're a girl. You're a female, and there's one of you, and you've not been to law school, and you don't have the money they have, and yet they still got to fuck with the mail to avoid court going against you in a court of law. Wow. He goes, I couldn't be prouder of you. So they're going to deal with it. I'm going to deal with it. If you can, notify the court what they did. This is not the first time this has happened. This happens all the time. See, Mr. Perry, we have Exhibit F, the receipt and the letter to the clerk in Tulsa County. We had that information for, like on the 11th, 12th, Friday, whatever day it was I said, in a podcast. Here's what they're going to do. I've sat here and listened to these men all day long talk about how they can fuck you over in your appeal. So, don't get discouraged and don't get upset if they do and you can't do it. Do your best. That's all you got to do. And whatever they do to fuck you up, I'll deal with it. They'll get another charge. Why am I getting the information, Mr. Perry, beforehand? Because we anticipated what you would do enough to actually put it as an exhibit in the amended petition sent to the Supreme Court. I walked it in. We anticipate, because normally you would not put that in there. I put that in there for a reason. Anticipating that you would do exactly what you did. You just proved our recordings again. You have a really good thing that you do with continuing to prove out our recordings, because it's just talk. If I say, oh, I'm broken, I think I'll rob Bank of America, it's just talk right then. If I actually rob Bank of America, now it's premeditated, malicious intent, blah, blah, blah. There could be a spur of the moment crime. I'm in the grocery. I'm starving to death. I haven't eaten 2 days. I think I'll steal food. It's a need crime. It's a crime based on you need food, and spur of the moment. I have not done that. I'm just using this as an example. I've not done that. I'm using it as an example. But let's say that happened. It has happened. There are people that have done that. They haven't eaten. They're starving to death. They're walking through the grocery store and they grab some food off the shelf, and it's kind of a spur of the moment. Didn't think it through. Didn't plan anything. Just I'm starving. Grab some food and walk out, and that's shoplifting. But there's some mitigating factors. When you got somebody that has sat down and had a meeting, and they're talking to all their little partners about it, and all that's recorded. Right here, it's just talk. But then when you do it, now it's willful, malicious, aforethought. All those words come into play. Premeditation, intended, mens res met. You intended to commit a crime. You discussed it. You planned it. You figured out a way to make it happen. And then you did it. And why do I have that information? What does it mean that I have that information enough to where I knew to put it in the petition? Because normally you wouldn't do that, but I did. Because we knew what you were doing, Mr. Perry. And you're not getting the significance of what it means that I have that information beforehand, not after. It's not an afterthought. Yeah, I've not been arrested for whatever this girl did. I'm not sitting in a jail making up crap to cover up what I did. I'm telling everybody right now, beforehand, Mr. Perry tried to false arrest me again by framing me for some crime that another girl did who's heavier than me, darker than me, and hair is darker than mine. And they wanted her to dye her hair my hair color, so they went to great lengths to get the information, which they didn't get anyway. And pushed me to tan, so my complexion matches hers. Push her to dye her hair my hair color, try to find out what that is. Wow. And she's heavier. Would you put her on a diet too? On the day of the crime, what color was her hair? What color was mine? On the day of the crime, what color was her skin? What color was mine? Did you guys didn't think that through, did you? You never do. Mike Neely didn't beat anybody up. You have to have bruising on you if you beat somebody up. And he was treated with Narcan for drug overdose, not being beat up in a fight. And y'all didn't think that through either. It's funny. I mean, I don't. But the sad thing is you continue to do it and you continue to get caught more than ever in your lives, and you're not getting what that means. What does it mean that you continue to get caught? You think I can do this by myself? There's no fucking way. It's not possible. It's not humanly possible for me to do that by myself. Who's helping me? Somebody with power. If they can get me a puzzle right there in jail, somebody with a whole heck of a lot of power. And I guess Richard, You need to be told. All the clothes in the back, in the dressing room, that's not abandoned property, sir. That is not abandoned property. There is a reasonable expectation of every girl in there that their shit is going to be left alone. It's private property. It's back in a dressing room where they put their stuff to get ready to work. And if I go out and dance again, which I don't anticipate, I'm pretty much done with it, then you don't have the right to my shoe when I'm in the VIP. I would need a court order, sir. You cannot just get my shit on private property back in a dressing room while I'm working. That is not abandoned property. And you can't just take it and get a print. And there apparently was an argument with them. You can't just do that. Yeah, I can. There's nothing wrong with it. No, I think you need a court order. No, this is private property. It's not abandoned. She's not abandoned those shoes. She put her shoes with her stuff back in the dressing room with a reasonable expectation nobody's going to touch it. There's cameras all over the place. If somebody steals something, they make them give it back. They got cameras. They're sitting there watching. They make them give it back or pay for it, or you're fired. They don't just put up with that crap. So who the fuck do you think you are? Going in there like that. And I found out about it. So what does that mean that I found out about that? That means I have help. Help you can't get to. Help that doesn't think highly of TPD. Or Richard. Boy, they love Richard. I'll tell you. Richard gets a lot of gold stars. Ringtone Richard. Hang on. That's the amended petition that has Exhibit F. Here, Supreme Court. It was sent out in plenty of time to get there by the 14th. What did I say? Mr. Warman is known. It's a joke. We make a joke of it. Mark went down to the courthouse and made it rain again because nothing was legal. Instead of just fighting me in court, where's your backbone, dude? I'm not a seasoned attorney. I'm new. I'm fucking new. What you've done is raise suspicion on you because you're not getting at what it means when I know what you're going to do beforehand. Enough to put an Exhibit F. Mail receipt to the Tulsa County District Court of the DOR and the amended. And, you don't want to get served, right? Oh, Perry's served. Everybody else, he's jacked with my thing, so I can't serve. I'll get him served within 3 days, but I don't know if that'll matter. But I'll tell you what, you sure pissed off my prosecutor. He said if you can at all, notify the court. They need to know what he's doing. We need it on the record that he's doing this to you. It'll help with our case. There's certain defenses that they're anticipating that you would use in a criminal case, Mr. Perry, that they're trying to eliminate based on what I put on the court and what you do with the court. You're not being honest. You're not going in there and just doing normal, face it like a man type of court. You're doing all this illegal crap, underhanded stuff. And you keep getting caught. And you not get the significance of why you're getting caught. You're not getting it, sir. You're not getting it at all. You're not even getting close. We don't even know what to say to that. And there's Perry's service right there. Mailed out on the same day it was filed. So, my prosecutor's like, there's not a backbone among them. You got all these men and not one backbone. Except he used different words. He was like, you can't say that publicly. You'll get arrested. I can't say what he said. You'll get arrested for lewd and lascivious. But I'm sure you can imagine what... I mean, he's out of patience. They're trying to wrap this up, so y'all are gone now. I don't have to deal with it anymore. And you just added to it. You're not getting the significance of what it means when you get told on before you do it, Mr. Perry. I'm not saying this stuff after. It's not an afterthought to explain something away. I'm getting the information before you do it. And it's not a crime when you just discuss it. So unless the court clerk in Tulsa, where we joke around that Mark went down and made it rain on her, like it's a fucking strip club or something. Unless she made an error, there's no crime if it's an error. I suggest you rethink what you did before it becomes a crime. And that'll be by tomorrow morning. So, I don't know what you did. I haven't looked yet, but before I look, there better not be a problem. where it's a crime. It's a mistake. And then there won't be any more after that. Not a backbone among them, sin. That speaks very highly of you. Very highly of you, that they have to do all this underhanded shit. Because they're too scared of you. 5 guys, 5 attorneys, seasoned, old guys, won't face one chick with not a lick of law school. That speaks extremely highly of you. And they've done this over and over, and not once, over and over. I've sued 3 times. What are you scared of? What are you scared of, coward? You're not getting the significance of, one, I have the information. One, that I have the information. And 2, I got it before you did it. And sometimes you know that, and you do it anyway. And we're like, whoa. It's so easy, it's not even fair. We flat told them we knew, and they did it anyway. I don't even have words for that. Never in your lives has your crime been caught this much, and you're not getting what that means. Are you? You have no idea what that means, do you? You guys can't put it together. If you can't put it together that we need her to tan, maybe you ought to give her some money so she can. We want her to be on Cox Cable. Well, but she can't do it if you keep stealing her money. It's not about you giving me money. It's about I can make my own money. You're stealing it faster than I can make it. And a lot of people know that I'm a Christian. I'm not a holier than thou. I don't go to church. It's not like that. I worked in a strip club for 6 years, and not one of those girls got preached at. That's not my way. That's not my thing. I do preach at guys who act like say they're Christians and they're fucking frauds. I'll preach all day at you. I'll quote every Bible verse there is at you. You want to pretend to be Christian? Let's see. Let's see what happens when I start quoting the Bible at you. Boom, boom. Plans of the wicked will come to nothing. Be not deceived. God isn't mocked. To reap what you sow. You already are. If I know what you just said, maybe that's a little karma for watching me in my house against my will. I mean, I'll fucking do that all day long. But when I'm in a strip club, I don't say a word. I don't say a word about that. I'm not like that. That's not my thing. But everybody knows that. Now I don't even remember why the hell I brought that up. Everyone knows I have ADD sometimes, and I can't. Like, I get off the track, and I'm like, what was I saying? Okay, so when I shit, don't know. I have no idea. I'll have to, it'll come back to me later, I'm sure. Hang on, I gotta change the page. Okay, see this here? This is I have protected address through the state, Oklahoma Attorney General's office. So that's available for domestic violence victims, and I've had it for a long time. And it is illegal for anybody to give that to Mr. Powell. And I know Mr. Powell calls up here constantly. Can we get her address? And I think there's some cell phone pinging going on, and use of taxpayer resources to locate somebody that you don't really need to know where I am, do ya? Face me in court like a dude, like a man with a backbone instead of a little coward. This, however, was open, not even licked, and I usually I burn. Okay, like if you watch anything about people in my situation or people that are trying to do undercover shit, they burn shit. You don't throw stuff in the trash. That's stupid. You burn it. So I burn all of these envelopes right away, except this one. I kept it. And look what's on it. They're trying to forward my mail, and the postman put something on here. I can't forward it until I confirm, because he's like seeing me. He's like, I'm seeing you. But that doesn't mean some of it didn't get forwarded. Some of it did. Bank cards. One that's been sent out 4 times. 4 times. Why do you think that we get information? They get information from you and give it to me. Let me say it again, because you're slow. My guys get information from you and give it to me. Why do you think they're doing that? They're doing it because we all want for you to be in jail so you can't hurt anybody anymore, because you hurt me on a daily basis. We're all tired of it. Everybody's sick and tired of it. And the judge that just granted another wiretap order said she shouldn't have to sue to make a guy leave her alone because he's being told about what's going on in the Supreme Court, what she did with the mail. He was mad. This is not how we conduct ourselves in a court of law or during court proceedings. It's very, very unprofessional. Very unprofessional of their attorneys to act like that. I'm ashamed. And he's also gotten irritated at judges that rule in a way that isn't in accordance with the law and case precedents. He's a judge. He knows how to read it, what you did, and add it to the stack. Or, okay, grant a wiretap on that judge. Right? Isn't that how that works? Aren't you good friends with some people in the FBI, Mr. Perry? Did you buy a few of those guys too? Go ask them. Go ask them. Because you keep getting caught more than ever in your life, and you're not putting it together why that might be and what it means. All I wanted you to do is leave me the fuck alone. That's it. And he's right. You shouldn't have to sue someone to make them leave you alone. And then when I do sue you to make you leave me alone and you do all this underhanded stuff, you just pissed off all kinds of people. Powerful people. People that know that Richard or whoever was out there trying to get my shoe print and he was told no. And he argued with him. There's nothing wrong with it. Yeah, it's not abandoned property, Richard. You don't go back there and get people's shoes without an order or their consent. That is private property, even in the back dressing room. That's not for you to go help yourself. That's why you wanted me back out on that. But that's one. There's several reasons. You wanted me back out on that pole and on the schedule. I heard y'all talking about that too. Whoever it is that's hick. The guy I make fun of that's fucking hick. Oh, like, you're all hick in my opinion. You're all hillbilly. But, I'm not from Texas. That's not my kind of place. Sometimes Oklahoma is getting close. Actually, in Oklahoma, there's some pretty progressive people. Not quite like Vegas, but there is some progressive people. I wouldn't be able to live here. I don't want anything but to be left alone. I've said that. I want what you took from me back. I want my privacy back. I want it back. My family's sick and tired of dealing with you. You know how I know? I haven't talked to them. I know my family. I've known them all my life. Our shrink has heard some of the recordings of you talking to them. She goes, this is psychological torture if ever I've seen it. Almost as bad as Nazi. Almost as bad as Hitler. No, your family does not want to hurt you. And he's making them hurt you. And that is psychological torture. And it's worse because he's doing it to your kids. When you do it to a child, it doesn't get any worse. Mr. I'm a Christian. No, you're not. You're full of crap. So, this lady that calls me, Mr. Perry, hang on. That is the exhibit. Right there. Exhibit F. Right there. Sent out on the 11th. Tulsa County Court for arrival on the 12th. Right there. 2/12. Not 16. 2/12. So, this is just another. Our guy says, please let the court know what they're doing. You're going to have to let them know. You're going to have to notify the court. They're getting in your mail. They're causing a problem. And when she said today, it didn't get here till the 16th, I almost said bullshit. Bullshit. We know all about Mark going down there and make it rain. Like it's a fucking strip club. Have some dignity already. And don't treat a court of law like a fucking diner and the judge is your short order cook. Have some dignity. Have a backbone, Mr. Perry. And please do try to sit down and think for yourself. What might it mean that she keeps getting the information before, not after? Because look at the date it was mailed. 11th. 11th, sir, is the date that I put it as an exhibit in with the amended petition to the Oklahoma Supreme Court. In anticipation that it would be needed because you were going to fuck with the mail. I mean, why else would I do that? We already knew. Because my guy, my prosecutor, I sat there and listened to him all day. Talk about what can we do to make sure she doesn't get this done. It's pretty bad when you already have a disadvantage of there's one of you against 5. The finances are not there like they are the 5. No law school, not a lick of it. 5 seasoned attorneys, old guys that have been practicing law for a long time. Already that's a disadvantage. And to make it worse, you got to do shit like that too. That's illegal. It was illegal. It's a crime unless it was just a mistake. Okay? It is. I'm gonna say that one last time. Unless it was just a mistake, it is a crime, Mr. Perry. Because there were conversations all day Friday, my guy heard, and recommended I do that. Put it in with the petition. I can't give you legal advice, but I can tell you to put that in with the petition, because I got a criminal case I'm going to use it for if they commit a crime. Let's hope they don't. I'm going to prove out a recording if they do. All they have to do is comply with the law. That's it. You break the law, I'm going to get your ass. That's what my guy says. You break the law, I'm going to get your ass. So, we're tired of it, dealing with this shit. We're really tired of it, and you need to get the significance of what does it mean that I get information before you do it, and why that might be. What does it mean? What does that mean, Mr. Perry? I think that means you're in a lot of trouble, and you don't seem to get that, because we'll get it and you do it anyway. And we're like, wow, it's so easy, it's not even fair. I asked you to get Mike Neely out of jail because he didn't do a murder. You did. At that point, you could have said, she's right. Not a mark on him. We backed up Blue. She's absolutely right. We backed up Blue. Let's find out who did this, because I do not want that suspicion on me. That's not what you did. You made it worse for me. You have gone at me and gone at me and gone at me and gone at me. Let's try to find a way to second false arrest her. We got to do it again so Charles can announce his candidacy. And then the 18th, y'all worked for weeks on trying to arrange a false arrest. You wanted Manfred to do it, and you got caught. Didn't put it together that I might need money for gas to get out there. I don't even have words for this. Listen, I'm not upset that I didn't have money to get out there. I thank God. I'm like, oh God, thank you that they didn't think of that through, and I couldn't go. I love Manfred Police. I don't really have a relationship with Manfred Police, but out of all the police in Oklahoma, they treated me the kindest. They were very kind to me. I had positive interactions with them. And of course, why would you there's no motive to kill the chief and try to kill the detective who just took my complaint 6 days before. Were they not kind people? And you felt like they were a threat, and you did something else underhanded. And that's a whole different matter, Mr. Perry. But witness tampering is a crime. Witness tampering, sir, is a crime. I assert my right to equal protection, Richard, to all victims' rights, to all violence against women laws, to all anti-stalking, anti-voyeurism, and anti-hacking laws, Richard. And United States Code, I'm sorry, I always get that wrong, Title 18 of the United States Code, Section 1512 and 1513, that prohibits retaliation for reporting a crime to the police. It prohibits witness tampering, destruction of evidence, and perjury. Perjury is actually 1001, 16 something. I don't know. I used to know those two off the top of my head. That's how much I've studied it. Every time you took my customers away and there was nobody in that strip club, guess what I was doing? Studying the law. To take you to court because you ran off my customers and I couldn't eat. And you shouldn't have to sue someone to just be able to go to work, make money, and go home like everybody else. Grand larceny with intent to coerce. So, please note it for the record. We did that intentionally, knowing in anticipation for what you were going to do. It's a mistake or it's a crime. You pick. And you're out of time. You better get on that right away. Because you were recorded all day Friday. Everything you guys said. How can we impede her appeal? How can we make it where she can't appeal? And what my guy's like, what kind of cowards? Is there not one of them? There's not one backbone among them, is there? Except he used a different word. Tell me not to say it publicly. So we're sick of it, Perry. But try to figure out why you keep getting told on more than ever in your life. What does it mean? What does it mean? Go run for governor. I'm not stopping you. I couldn't care less. My guys want to talk to you. Whether it doesn't matter what you do to me, they're going to talk to you. So do what you do. We don't give a shit. But I'll tell you one thing. If you can't figure out what does it mean that I keep getting caught and she keeps finding out what I'm trying to do to her, I'm not sure you're qualified to be governor of people, normal people. You got to figure out what does that mean that I keep getting told on and I keep getting caught. It might mean you got police all over you. I have protection from you. Because you're caught more than you've ever been in your life. We don't even have the words to say for somebody that gets caught. We've heard them telling you. She already knows you're using her family. It's not going to work. She already knows. Why do you guys do this? Why do you guys... You know she knows and you do it anyway. And then you're all up... shocked and dismayed that things blew up. Stop doing that. Oh, I'm shocked and dismayed. Everything blew up. Yeah, but well, we told you. Yeah. Right? Please just leave everybody alone. It costs no money, no time. And you don't need to lie. I asked you to leave me alone in 2014. I was gone. I left town. I don't give a shit about you. I really don't. I don't like people that hurt other people. I don't like it. No one does. There might be some people that aren't as strong as me that won't stand up to you like other people. I probably stood up to you more than anything you're ever used to. But, that kind of comes from the personality of being raised in a home of power. We had the power in the town. My granddad's the chief of police and a city councilman and a county treasurer. Maybe that comes from that background. Maybe that comes from working in D.C. politics for so long. It's a different world. It's not romper room. It's hardball. It's not a daycare. It's hardball. There are a gazillion different issues, and usually more than one side to the issue, and very powerful lobbyists that you're up against. Very powerful. And you got to get the attention of your legislator. Apparently, I got my legislator attention so much so that the chief of staff called me and chewed me out for being high maintenance. He didn't have to call me at all. He's the chief of staff. What does that tell you about what I could do? You see this? We called him Lopi. Everybody called him Lopi. Called me and chewed me out. See how it says, I'm glad we're friends now, because there was a time we weren't. He called me and chewed me out for being high maintenance. He's the chief of staff of a United States senator. He did not need to call me at all. So that means I was very good at what I did. That I warranted his phone call. Alright? Now, please leave me alone. Please, you decide, do you want that to be a crime or do you want it to be a mistake that can be corrected? That's up to you. But there cannot be this underhanded shit. And my prosecutor thinks, he thinks the world of me. I think the world of you. You worked hard to get that done. You did without foot. You made some sacrifices there to get that done. Because you don't like this guy bothering you. You don't like this man bothering you. We're appreciative of your help. And I'll tell you what, that says a whole lot about who you are. And your strength and your character. And your ability to learn how to do something you don't know how to do. And it says a whole lot about them too. So, you do what you do, but you need to understand why we put Exhibit F in there to begin with. Or I did. I can't give you legal advice, but I'm going to tell you need to include that in there. Because they're fixing to fuck with your mail. And the court needs to know. that you sent it in a timely manner. And I almost told Ms. Farmer, you are full of shit. We all know about Mr. Warman making it rain on you, Ms. Farmer. We all know. You know why? There's a lot of recordings. Please, fuck off, Mr. Perry. Fuck the hell off me. I don't like you. 12 years, I've done everything I could do to kick you off me like you're a rapist. Because to me, that's what it feels like you're raping me. I said, leave me alone. One time is all it should take. One time, sir. Okay. Notice this gentleman does not respond appropriately to the words said to him. Mr. Perry, you want to be governor? You better start responding right to what was said to you. You better figure out why it is you keep getting told on and what that means. And you better figure out how to put things together in your head. That when your conduct is offensive, that means people don't like it when you do that. That's why it's illegal. If you do things people don't like, they're not going to like you. One time, sir, is all you should have to say something. Lopez, one time. I didn't have to say it twice, ever. I've worked with girls in a strip club that were raised by drug addicts, were drug addicts themselves, dropped out of high school. One time, sir, is all I had to say it. You cannot be a governor of a state if you have to have things repeated to you over and over and over, and you can't respond appropriately to what's being said to you. So please respond appropriately. If you're out kissing babies and shaking hands, you're not bothering me. So what do you think I want? I want you doing whatever you can do to not bother me. So it's going to be hard to convince people you're smart enough to be governor if you have to be told the same thing over and over and over and over and you still don't respond right. Don't contact me. I don't like it. Don't take my money. Get out of my phone. Get out of my computer. There's no voyeur cameras in my home. Get them out. You don't have my consent. I don't like you. There's not a relationship here. It's crime. That's it. You're a criminal. I'm the victim. That's it. There's nothing. You're a stalker. I'm not in love with you. You repulse me. I think you're a turnoff. Now, leave me the fuck alone, sir. And you need to respond right if you want people to trust your judgment and your ability to be a reasonable, prudent individual and lead them as governor. Otherwise, maybe we think you're running for governor of, daycare. Not normal grown-ups. You got to act like a normal grown-up if you want to lead them. Otherwise, maybe it's just daycare you want to be governor of. As long as you're not bothering me, I don't care what you're doing. Get out of my face, get out of my life. And the more you bother me, the more you get told on. And what does that mean, Mr. Perry?
They're in public, when they're doing anything, you don't have the right to their attention. You don't have the right to step into their personal space. You don't have the right to them. Especially if they're making it very clear they don't want to be talked to. But even when they're not, unless a woman is giving you enthusiastic and continuous body language and signs that she wants to talk to your ugly dumb ass, then leave her the fuck alone. Find a date a different way. Okay? It's not clever. It's not cool. It's not cute. It's garbage. It's absolute garbage behavior, and you're a garbage person if you do it. I don't care if it's in public. It doesn't fucking matter. You don't have the right to her, and you need to leave her alone. And this is Bacon.
That's okay. I don't care.
Leave me alone.
All you want.
I don't want proof of this. Please leave me alone.
Hey, men. Leave women the fuck alone. When they're in public, when they're doing anything, you don't have the right to their attention. You don't have the right to step into their personal space. You don't have the right to them. Especially if they're making it very clear they don't want to be talked to. But even when they're not, unless a woman is giving you enthusiastic and continuous body language and signs that she wants to talk to your ugly dumb ass, then leave her the fuck alone. Find a date a different way. Okay? It's not clever. It's not cool. It's not cute. It's garbage. It's absolute garbage behavior, and you're a garbage person if you do it. I don't care if it's in public. It doesn't fucking matter. You don't have the right to her, and you need to leave her alone. And this is Bacon.